Like, this is the video for a Clarke pump 1-inch water pump, BP 1000. So much it cost? 78 quid. That is what you get. One inlet, one outlet, obviously. There's the technical specs, just there. And to run this, there should be a couple of connectors that go here and here, but we haven't got them, so we've had to purchase 2 of these. That's an extra. In the box as well, you also get a user's guide. These 2 pieces here, I'll show you the receipt, because I don't know exactly what they're called. That is them. That focuses. About 4 quid each. We need 2 of them, obviously, one for the inlet and one for the outlet. Also needed is 3 meters of hose for my application, and there you have a non-return valve, which I need for that pump as well. That was a few extra quid, can't remember how much, and obviously Jubilee clips. Yeah, and it's to go on an application that I'll show in a minute. So the system that I'm currently using is rain collection in this tank here via the roof of my chicken run, 1200 litres. I then transfer it into a 1000 litre IBC with this pump here, which is a submersible pump. That has given up the ghost, but I also want to be able to transfer water from the IBC to further up the garden, and I can't do that with that pump for 2 reasons. A, it's broken, and B, it doesn't fit into the top filling port, whatever you call it. But that's something that I'm going to overcome with this second pump, or hopefully anyway. That was the pump that's now, or we were using, but is now broken, and this is the hole that I have. That pump does not fit in that hole, so obviously that's an issue. The only other means I've got of getting water out is gravity feed, which when you're travelling a number of feet uphill is, well, you can piss quicker, so it's not worth doing it. Right, this pump needs these 2 connections, these male connections here. 1-inch male 1-inch BSP male connector. Can't get them anywhere, so this is why we've had to buy these 2 things as a replacement. There's one unit, there's another. And it's a compression fit. So that into there, that on there, and these go into the ports on the pump. Right, got to remember there's 2 plastic bungs in here, so make sure you take those out. One there, and another one on the inlet. Oh yeah, so inlet, outlet. Just going to sit that one there so you can see what's going to happen with it. And the same with this one. And now I've had a dry fit of these, and it's relatively tight. The inlet is quite tight, the outlet is quite loose, so it's not going to take a lot to do these up. But I'm going to stick some PTFE tape around them anyway and go from there. Right, some PTFE tape. I'm just going to put it around one thread for the time being, and then go from there. just going to cinch that one down for now. Now this one is going to be tighter. I'm just going to put a small bit around this one. That's a lot tighter, that is. And these ones compression fit. One into there. I shouldn't need PTFE on here, but it's if I do get an issue, then I'll take it off and put some on afterwards. One of the issues that I found with this is it's a really loose connection, and there's not a lot. There's only inch maximum going in once I've cut this flush. So I will be putting some tape around this, some Gorilla Tape, and cutting that flush just to get a better seal, and then a Jubilee clip on top. Right, so we've got the 1 inch pipe. We want that. I've just wrapped that around once with a bit of Gorilla Tape all the way around. Just needs to be a little bit tighter than it was. And there. That's a much tighter fit. Just going to put, I'm going to screw this hand tight onto that so that it just pushes that down home. Just get this collar, this pipe as far down onto it as I can. That should do. And then do that up with the screwdriver. In fact, I put it on the wrong one. This is the inlet pipe, so I'm going to take it off here and put it on the other one. Right, that's just hand tight for the time being. I'm going to do this Jubilee clip up. Make sure that's all nice and snug. Remember, that's a compression fit as well, so you want to get that as tight as one can. Probably going to need a different spanner for this, but we'll see. Yeah, the spanner itself doesn't like it, so I need to get a different spanner and don't use one of these adjustables. Right, so the pump is just going to sit here for the time being. I'm going to give it a trial run. I've got this tube, which is almost down to the bottom of this tank. The non-return valve that's in it, it has already sucked up some water, so I don't want to be dragging anything out just yet. I'm just about to add a piece onto the end of this tube here, and I'm going to direct that, the length tube, I'm going to go into this tank here just to see if we are working as a pump. So I'll come back when I get a join on here going into there. Right, a little bit wider diameter tube. I'm just going to force this onto here for now, as far as I can. I'm not going to Jubilee clip this one because it's just a temporary measure to get water from this tank into here to see if we have a flow and what it's like. So I'll just push this down a wee while, or a wee distance for a wee while. Now it probably isn't watertight, but we'll find that out very shortly. But one of the issues I had was this unit was on top of that wood for height, and to keep it straight, temporary measure just to see if this works, was finding it impossible to prime it. So I've had to bring it onto here and prime it from this end backwards, which has worked. But now that I've spent half an hour fanning around, we can get it working proper and show you. One of the downsides is there's no on and off switch. So I've got a live plug, a live extension lead, and I'll just have to go straight into it. But I'll turn it on now, and you can see. Did you see in there?
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going to stick a 6 litre watering can on that, and I'm going to let it overrun so you can see how long it takes to fill up 6 litres from empty. Empty. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 seconds. And the bummer is, I've got to turn it off now. So 11 seconds, 6 litres. I don't know what that equates to a minute. It's got to be about 55, isn't it? Yeah, something like that. So it's working. Thankfully, just needs to be a bit bastardised to get it working how we need it to pump it up the garden. Right, I'm going to disassemble it and show you it another day when I've got it up and running properly. Right, this is the watering system. 1200 litre tank in here, it's buried a foot in the ground. And 2 IBCs, 1000 litres in each, so that's 3200 litres all told. I have to take the water from the gutter on the chicken run. It fills up the big 1200 litre. I then transfer it into this one. Currently using a gravity fed tap system. Got this tank today, and I'm going to be linking both of these two together and then running it out of a pump system to feed the garden. So in theory that will give 2000 litres to use as water in the garden and greenhouse, and then I can transfer another 1000 plus if they empty during that time. Close up on the taps there. The garden tap fitting, that'll be coming off on that one, and I'll have a new adapter to go on the tank itself, and the blanking plug on that one will come off and an adapter will go on there. Right, this is my Clarke pump. There's the model number there. I think this does about, well, it says on it 40 litres a minute. Let's show that again. Which is relatively fast. All I've done is added some eye bolts to it, just here, to create a handle, because it's really awkward to carry. It's a two-handed job, and I've just attached it to a bit of plastic and a bit of a wood base so that I can pick it up and carry it with one hand. Got a cam lock fit in there, and that fitting just there, ready to go on the outlet, and the inlet, I'm just going to bolt that up, and that sits on a 8 to 10 foot length of this stuff that I've got. So yeah, we'll get that all fitted up. This is the hose that I'm using. This end goes onto the pump itself on the inlet. It's between 8 and 10 feet long. I haven't actually measured it. And we've got a non-return valve just here. I've added a little lead weight to it so it to make sure it goes right to the bottom. And we will transfer 1,000 litres from that tank there into this new tank just here. Right, I've got about 10 feet of 1-inch flat hose here and some stainless steel cam lock connectors. This is 1 inch. Obviously that goes in there like that. The idea is 2 of them on there. I'll drop one in there in the tank just over there, and the weight of that will hold the pipe down once the water pressure comes through. Simple on-off connection. I'm going to try and do it with one hand. Don't know if I'll be able to do it. We'll see. Yeah, there you go. So that's that now connected. Just drop that one in there. Right, that's good to go once I start it up. So we'll see what happens in a minute. Right, this is the initial fill of the second tank. This 1-inch flat hose, one problem I've noticed is you get the kinks. I'm sure that is having an effect on the pressure through the pipe. But it's still coming out. It should only take about 20-25 minutes to fill this whole tank. But only time will tell. I'm just not happy with the kinks that are in there. So I will replace the filler hose, this blue one, with a length of the green rigid stuff there, but that's a job for a later date. We'll get this one filled up first. Yeah, there'll be a bit of alarm as well in relation to the electric setup at the moment. This is a temporary measure, just for filling up this new tank. Bit of a drip just there. So I'm covering the motor, only temporarily, because this isn't going to be a permanently fixed motor anyway. Right, this is the product I've just bought from Screwfix. 7 metre 1-inch clear pipe, reinforced. It comes with these fittings. That is a filter there, a non-return filter. So for 20 quid, 7 metres, that's very good. That's the part number. I've exchanged the black fittings for stainless cam locks. So that's what we're going to be fitting to the water tanks and the pump. Right, all the connections are now fitted on the tanks. That's going to be the main collection tank. It will collect from that guttering. This pipe is the transfer. It will go to these 2 IBCs. Inlet on the pump, outlet on the pump. This tube here will go as it is and then into this pump, sorry, into this IBC when these both need filling. On the pump itself there's cam locks and a short length of hose. When I've finished transferring from here to here, I'll then disconnect, place it back down here and connect to there and there. That will then allow me to run it up the garden and into the greenhouses. I've got a 20 metre flat 1-inch hose for that. And connection wise for the IBCs, we've got a swivel buttress, which is the first connection. Then we've got an elbow onto the blue pipe, then a T-piece going into a swivel buttress again, coming out to the on and off valve, more blue pipe, another elbow, a short extension piece of the flexible reinforced hose onto a cam lock. They're stainless steel, those cam locks. Pump will be housed here, or will just sit here because I'm not leaving it out in the weather. It's only going to be brought out when it's going to be used, and it'll be connected to that. And I'll just do a connection or a deconnection and connection now. So it only takes a few seconds, 30 seconds I suppose, and that's now connected. Obviously electricity, I am going to do an extension down to here where I'll have an on and off switch, but in the meantime I've just run an extension lead to and from the house. And yeah, 3,250 litres. Thank you very much. That'll do. This flexible hose is the one that comes from Wicks, and again on the end of it I've just got a cam lock. I've got a short length of 1-inch blue flat hose, but I'll be swapping that short length, undoing this connection just here and then sticking 20 metres of it on, just to get me up to the greenhouses, which are 10 metres behind me. Up there. Right, water's now flowing between the tanks and to the pump. Now gravity is pushing it through the pump, and I noticed a considerable drip there, but I'll just get a monkey wrench on that or something, set of mole grips. That'll tighten that one off to its last bit. Temporary measure with electricity. Here we go. That's the noise from the pump, which isn't too bad. It's not too bad at all actually. I'm just going to slacken these lids to allow some airflow. And my wonderful assistant is holding the end of the hose. Hello, wonderful assistant.
Hello.
Like that. This is a 12 litre bucket, stick it in there, dear. And give it a count.
Yeah.
Not a fan of the flat hose, are you?
No.
We'll
Bent in the middle.
Yeah. Well, there's 12 litres.
It's alright if you're running in a straight line.
Yeah, straight line. Yeah, you don't get any kinks in it then.
No.
A little bit there. Right, let's get that turned off. I'm going to transfer some water from the large butt into this IBC here. This pipe and this pump, it has to be primed. Now normally it's done via that little screw there, but it takes an absolute age. You can dunk the tube in to the water if you've got enough in there, but I can't get down to where it is, so I've had to stick a couple of litres in there just to get it to back up to the top. There's a non-return valve on the bottom, and it's just a simple matter of connecting the cam locks to each other, and that should free flow it into that tank. I've opened both up. I've only used about 50 litres or whatever it is, so it's just a quick test. Oh yeah, that one's off, by the way. This one here is off, and they're on, ready to go. So let's connect this up and give it a test. Alright, now fill it up. I'm discharging straight into here. That water that's already in there is what I transferred from there a couple of days ago. It's just a final test on all the fittings. And that one's almost full. That should be flowing between the two. So while I've got the pump on, we just let it flow. In fact, I'm going to have to turn that off because that's just about to overflow. You wouldn't want to drink it. So, I'm happy that reaches to this one as well now. Right, it's all working. That'll do. And that's the hose, disconnected from everything, and that's how I'll be storing it with those two tails on it as well. I will do a parts list of what I've used for all of this. It's not too bad though.